This is the Prologue from Honda. On one hand, I think it's a perfectly named vehicle, and on the other, not so much. Stick around and find out why. Nitty-gritty download first. The Prologue is a 5-passenger crossover that gets very close to a 300-mile range and has fast charging capability. Recharging the battery can be done with a DC fast charger up to 150 kilowatts. That will get you up to 65 miles of range in 10 minutes. From 20 to 80% should take about 35 minutes. Those are very competitive times. You can also precondition the battery, getting it ready for charging. Honda worked with Google, so when you map out a destination, you'll know where to stop for charging up as well. The Honda Link app can also help you find charging stations, and this will work with both EVgo and Electrify America chargers, so you only have to use one app to look, locate, and pay. That's nice and easy. Customers also get a charging package when they purchase. That includes a level 2 charger, an installation for their home, or a credit up to $750 on public fast charging stations. When it comes to the design, I think Honda has done a great job here. It's aerodynamic, but without looking sort of oddly futuristically weird. In Honda's press materials, they say it's low, it's wide, and long, with a long wheelbase, longest wheelbase in its class. Guys, those descriptors say one thing to me: wagon. And I'm here for wagon. The body panels, wheels, and shape all maximize aerodynamics, but doesn't get too space-aged. They've also implemented some different logo treatments. I love this big spelled out Honda on the back. I think it looks great. The interior gets some great features and tech, standard as well. An 11-inch instrument panel comes standard. It's hoodless, and like the 11.3-inch touchscreen, they both kind of look a little bit tacked on. On the positive side, you do get features like wireless Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, as well as Google built-in. There is a shortcut bar along the top of the touchscreen, and you can rearrange the icons in the main screen, but you're not able to add more options to the shortcut bar like you can in the Blazer EV. Yes, this equipment is all the same. Speaking of shortcuts, you have the same lane centering button to the left of the steering wheel. Also, on that shortcut bar, that's where you turn on and off your lights. Not super intuitive, but I kind of like this being here because a lot of people now are forgetting to keep their lights on auto at night and driving just with their day running lights, which is very dangerous. Ever since Honda removed the volume knob on the Civic a bunch of years ago, and then we all complained about it, and then they replaced it, they've kind of kept it in. So it's not just screen that you get here, but you get a nice mix of buttons and knobs, so your focus is not distracted from driving when you're trying to operate this. Another thing that I love that Honda does is this little shelf right here, because you can rest your finger, your thumb here, steady it when you're driving, and touch stuff. There's a great panoramic roof, and it feels really spacious in the interior. The shifter is a stock that comes out of the steering column, so there's a lot of room around you. Gets huge cup holders, a big pad for 2 phones, and lots of creative storage space. If you are buying the Elite or Touring trims, you'll get an upgrade to a 12-speaker Bose audio system, which, don't forget, is not competing with the sound of an engine. When it comes to design, well, there really isn't any. Like the new Pilot, the aesthetic in here is, can you call sparse an aesthetic? Other than some very subtle contrast stitching and one swath of piano black on the dash, you really are not getting much of anything else except hard plastic. I'd like to see something else, something like those wonderful honeycomb grills that are in the Civic and in the Accord. Honestly, the interior, design-wise, is leaving me pretty wanting. You do get keyless access on all trims. The Elite trim gets a card to open the doors, so you don't have to carry around a fob, but I'm not really sure that this is a huge bonus since you do have to take the card out and press it up against the door handle in order for it to work. Mine really didn't. Don't blame the cards, pre-production. This, I'm sure, will get ironed out. But it does receive over-the-air updates for the newest software, so maybe some of these things will be improving with time. When it comes to interior space, as you can imagine, you're not going to be struggling all that much. Up front, I'm great, fine. The seats are really comfortable. There is power adjustment, forward and back, up and down. I got tons of headroom up here, so I can adjust to a higher seating position if I want that. I get a telescoping and tilting steering wheel to finish off the position perfectly for me, which is fantastic. Now, it's really the second row that I think is gonna blow your mind a little bit because it's cavernous. Look at how far back this second row is and how close it is to this rear axle. That's pretty crazy, but that also means that the interior space is going to be plentiful. Behind me, you guys, I could probably like sleep down there or put a huge dog or something, which is crazy. I have a little less headroom because the second row rides a little bit higher, but there's some nice recline here. It doesn't go back, it only has like its sort of two fixed positions, but that's fine. Scooting into the center, Honda does a really nice job of kind of indenting this middle seat, so you do have a little bit more actual room. And of course, you have a flat floor, so your knees are not going to be up by your chin, giving this person in the center a legitimate place to sit. And then of course behind, and this is Mike Danger, as you guys all know already, I still have ridiculous amounts of room. I mean, I think Danger would even be comfortable back here, which is really something else. You get vents. These come standard in the back on every trim level, which is great. And also, you can get rear seat reminders just in case you forget and leave something in the second row. So as far as space goes, comfortable. Cargo space does not feel shortchanged behind the rear seats. Behind the second row, you're looking at 57.7 cubic feet, which looks generous, although the seats do not lay down completely flat. And there is a hidden compartment under the cargo floor. The Honda Prologue rides on the GM Ultium platform. Yes, that is the same one under all of the General Motors EVs, including the Blazer EV. Now, I know that they've been having problems. According to Honda, they have not been experiencing those same issues. This, however, it's good to note, is a pre-production model. And now let's get back to the name. If this was a prologue to more cars with GM, Honda was in a deal with the General to produce electric vehicles together. Well, that is a bummer because Honda, using this architecture, the Ultium platform, is a one and done deal. That arrangement to share the platform no longer exists, even though the companies are still working together on other hydrogen technology, etc., etc. So the Prologue, in terms of their relationship with GM, well, it's not leading to any log. Honda has, though, committed to a larger all-electric SUV coming sometime next year based on their own architecture and batteries that they are producing with LG. So stay tuned for that. To help make charging a little bit more convenient, Honda has also gotten into an agreement with Tesla to use their charging network. Okay, so this is yet something else that is changing in the EV space. Honda is not the only one to make this deal. There are a lot of manufacturers now that are going to be using Tesla's network. As a result, the connector that used to be the industry standard, that's the CCS connector, doesn't work with those Tesla chargers. So the federal government has now endorsed that the industry standard become the Tesla connector. Kind of has like Apple vibes with like new chargers, doesn't it? Honda's also partnered with EVgo and Electrify America, which, let's face it, their track record has not historically been stellar. Frequent reports of broken chargers or chargers not operating at full capacity have been a problem. However, they're also partnering, there's a lot of partnering here, with other auto manufacturers including BMW, Stellantis, Kia, Hyundai, and Mercedes to create a fast charging network of 30,000 charge stations across the United States. However, that won't be fully completed until closer to the end of this decade.
So yes, the EV world is one definitely in flux. So I can completely understand why people would be a little bit reluctant to jump in with both feet and commit. So again, like Apple, I'm kind of getting like early Betamax versus VHS vibes here, but hopefully we're all headed in the same general direction.
With its low center of gravity, its long wide stance, the Honda Prologue feels very stable. The suspension tuning feels comfortable. Sport mode does not change anything in that regard, so you're not going to get something that's more sporty or harsh when you press that sport mode button. It does give you an easier throttle and it firms up the steering, which under normal circumstances is light and very easy. As I would expect, the Prologue drives very much like a Honda. It's confident, it's comfortable, it is very easy to drive. There's nothing either unpleasing nor terribly remarkable about its characteristics.
The single motor Prologue will make 212 horsepower and get 236 pound-feet of torque. If you opt for the all-wheel drive on the Elite or the Touring, then you're looking at 288 horsepower, 333 pound-feet of torque. On the Elite, that all-wheel drive comes standard. I have all-wheel drive. I'm going to see from a stop if we can have a little fun. But it's not blow your hair back like a Tesla. That's Mike Danger in the back. Like I was saying, it's not blow your hair back like a Tesla. Your head's not slamming up against the headrest. But you know what? I mean, it has like decent acceleration. Sure, why not? I'm not sure what the two-wheel drive one motor one is going to be like, if that's going to feel a little bit less exciting, but I'm going to say yeah, it is.
We all know that this car is not going to be for putting down track times or winning drag races, but it feels plenty powerful for the things that you are going to be using this vehicle for. Shopping, taking the kids to where they need to go, getting to work and back again.
The Prologue gets full one-pedal drive capability, and they're utilizing a system that, again, GM uses, that Chevy utilizes on the Bolt, and that is using this hand pedal right here, this hand paddle, I should say. So if you pull up, you can definitely feel the car slowing down, but then if you depress this hand paddle, it will stop you completely. I know that the relationship with General Motors is on its way out, but I really hope that Honda, on their future products, utilizes this feature.
There are 3 different settings for the Regen: normal, high, and off. And those brakes, whether you're using Regen or not, yeah, they're artificial feeling, but they feel confident in any of the settings that you choose. As for handling, the Prologue turns agilely. It's got plenty of grip and doesn't present a whole lot of body roll. It really hugs the road. But it's not like anyone's going to flog the Prologue around canyon rows, so drive accordingly. Visibility, incidentally, is excellent.
Honda has created some bespoke sounds that make this have some kind of noise. You cannot turn it off. It's not as good as BMW's Hans Zimmer sounds, but when you put it into sport mode, which I'm going to do right now, the sound is amplified. They definitely pump it into the cabin here. It's not unpleasing, but I frankly wish I could turn it off.
Of course, staying safe is paramount, so Honda Sensing comes standard in the Prologue as well. This comprehensive suite of safety features should keep you out of most trouble, with features including automatic emergency braking, front pedestrian braking, lane keeping assist, and adaptive cruise control. They're also including rear cross-traffic braking and blind zone steering assist, as well as rear pedestrian alerts new for this model. That is a ton of safety equipment.
The Prologue is coming in 3 trim levels, and if you're a Honda person, they should all sound very familiar to you.
The base EX comes with 19-inch wheels, rear seat vents, a power adjustable driver's seat, heated front seats, and wireless phone charging. Move up to the Touring trim and you'll pay $53,095 for the 2-wheel drive model.
If you want to add all-wheel drive to the EX or Touring trims, that will cost you $3,000.
The Elite trim comes standard with all-wheel drive and adds features like 21-inch wheels, a head-up display, heated steering wheel, a surround view camera, and a 110-volt outlet. You can also get it in this amazing color called North Shore Pearl. That's pretty. If you're cross-shopping EVs, take a look at the Nissan Ariya, Kia EV6, Hyundai Ioniq 5, VW ID4, Mustang Mach-E, or the Subaru Solterra. You can expect deliveries of the Prologue to start in the spring of 2024.
Wagony good looks and solid range, the Honda Prologue has a lot to recommend it. If you are in the market for an electric vehicle, Kelley Blue Book can help you. If you click on the link above, we can help you find a fair purchase price on any vehicle you're looking for. Happy shopping!